California. You are watching the MLP season finale for the Challenger League. Each of these teams accumulating the highest total of event points from the year to reach the season championship today. The Breakers, they were the team to beat coming into the tournament here in San Clemente, the two-time defending champs from Mesa and Daytona. The interesting storyline here, their opponents tonight, the Chicago Slice, put an end to the Bay Area's hopes of a three-peat in the San Clemente portion of the tournament. The Slice taking down the Breakers in upset fashion in the semis of the tournament. Thrilled to have you with us. Cameron Irwin, Michelle McMahon, Adam Stone in the booth. Cameron Blackwood will be joining us momentarily courtside. The Bay Area Breakers looking to get their revenge on the Chicago Slice. Of course, everything on the line here in the season finale. As we welcome in now the fourth member of our crew, Cameron Blackwood is courtside with both coaches, Ray J. Murphy of Chicago and Scott Crandall of the Breakers. Cameron.
Thanks, Michelle. Scott, this is a rematch from the semifinals. Slice took you out in there. What adjustments you guys have to make sure you take the win here in the season super final?
We adjusted our warm-up a little bit. The courts are kind of sticky and a little slower than some of the outer courts we were practicing on before. So we kind of focused on kind of footwork and reacting to the ball and being like just a little more mentally ready and kind of in go mode. And so we're all very much looking forward to this to get going right now.
Thanks, Scott. And Ray J, not the outcome you wanted in the finals, but now rematching against the Breakers, who you took out with their undefeated title there. What are you guys thinking to regroup? What did you have to tell them mentally to make sure they were prepared to come in?
Well, I personally think that all four of them are such fighters, and maybe even losing the final the other day will help us out, give them that little extra motivation. And you got the 8 best players here in the finals after 6 months, and my team couldn't be more ready for this.
Thanks, Ray J. Michelle.
The Chicago Slice looking to pay off the Cinderella story that they began, although they didn't get the results they wanted in the championship round of the San Clemente portion of the tournament. This is the season finale taking place in San Clemente. So let's begin with the Chicago Slice. What do you think it will take for them to take down the Breakers not once but twice this weekend?
Well, exactly right, Michelle. You said it. A team as talented as the Breakers, very difficult to beat them twice. And the fact that Chicago Slice did that, I would love to see if the Breakers mix up their mixed doubles or possibly change sides on their gender doubles. And it's really tough call because they had so much success in the first 2 MLPs.
You know, I'm looking to the men's doubles matchup. I think it's going to be very intriguing. The favorite, I think, would be fair to say that it's on the side of the Breakers in that matchup between Pablo Tejas and Christian Alshon. The other side, Connor Garnett playing alongside Ryler DeHart. But can Ryler DeHart be a little bit more the X factor? Can he step up to be able to create some opportunities in that position in the men's doubles matchup alongside Connor Garnett? It's definitely going to be a key factor for the Chicago Slice.
Coin toss is underway. We will explain those results in just a moment. 4 choices for these teams to select. The hottest choice on the market seems to be the reacting when it comes to the mixed doubles portion of the match. We will have a series of gender doubles, beginning with either the men or the women's, based on who each team chose in the coin toss, as we'll explain here in the match format. Then we will move on to the mixed doubles format, which of course that coin toss comes into play. We'll get to that when we get there. It is rally scoring. That is a different nuance compared to the other professional pickleball leagues. Games are to 21, win by 2. There is a freeze involved here. We'll dive into that later. In the Dream Breaker format, we saw this all weekend long. It's the singles portion. You see men against women, 16-year-olds against 35-year-olds. It's the wild deciding game here in Major League Pickleball. And then, of course, the video challenges. Each team gets 3 free video challenges per match. Those correlate with the timeouts as well. We will dive into the nuances as we get there. But for now, it looks like we're beginning with the women's doubles portion of it. The Bay Area Breakers, they have Eva Radzikowska, the 2-time MVP from the challenger level. She has been spectacular. The crowd has been electric all weekend long. Susanna far side of your screen in the light blue shorts. Bay Area Breakers in the black shorts. So X Factor wise, Cameron, let's begin with you. What are you looking for on both sides in this women's doubles matchup?
The name to look for right now is Vivian Glosman, right? She was entered into this Bay Area Breakers team thanks to the shuffle draft. All of a sudden, not only do you become a Major League Pickleball player, but you find yourself in the the Challenger level season finale. This is a big time moment for somebody that is so new to the game of pickleball. She has great tennis pedigree, but is it going to show up right now in the biggest moment at the Challenger level?
Especially against a player like Susanna Barr in the 40 club, as you always appreciate, Adam. 45 years old, she's a veteran of the sport, and that's where she has the edge. She knows the shots to hit and the perfect timing to do it.
Exactly. She has a great pickleball brain. She's been around for a while. She does have a low margin for error on her game, though. She really goes for her shots, her dinks, and her drops, and has a lot of put-away power on the forehand side. Can she play just consistent enough to set up her partner, Emily Ackerman, and not have those loose errors creep into her game?
This just in from Cameron Blackwood. You see Emily Ackerman on the screen. Cameron saying that the Breakers won the toss. They chose to react, so they will be the team that gets to counter the matchup first in mixed doubles. Vivian Glosman, as Cameron mentioned, she's got a strong, stealthy tennis background. How will it translate, though, at this level with all the pressure on the line? And what is it for her game that makes her a strong point, and then where's the vulnerability for somebody that's new to the game?
Exactly. She is very much a physical presence, right around 6 feet tall. She has the tools and the shots at her disposal, but it's the decision making and possibly the nerves that could come into play in this very much biggest stage of her young career.
And the good news is she's going to be playing alongside Eva Radzikowska. You mentioned the two-time MVP. She was new to me when we started Major League Pickleball back in 2023 in Mesa. We had a lot of question marks. What is she going to bring to the table? And she has answered at every single stop. So talk about a little bit of experience. It's definitely something for Glosman to lean into.
Here's a fun fact for the tennis background of Eva Radzikowska. She was a Polish national tennis champion in the under 16, under 18, and under 21 age divisions. So she was a mystery to us all leading into this event, and spoke openly about that. She knows it. We are moments away from first serve here for the season finale, the first of its kind for Major League Pickleball. Such an exciting moment.
And Michelle, I'll tell you what a luxury for Vivian Glosman. Very good friends from their tennis days with Anna Bright. To have that player help you in your early career is absolutely huge for her, and she has grown leaps and bounds having that guidance from Anna Bright.
Caitlin Kerr, the voice you're hearing in the background, the MC, one of the team owners here on the premier level side of things, the Las Vegas Night Owls. Emily Ackerman will be the first server to Vivian Glosman.
0-0.
Into the net for Ackerman, and Bay Area on the board first.
And immediately you see the hands of Glosman. That's what she's going to pull over from the tennis rinks. But one of the biggest things is her ability to dink. As you can see, they might test her in that regard.
Long for Glosman.
And you already see Susanna Barr with 2 dinks up the line early in this match. I do not think she wants to get into a cross-court battle with Eva Radzikowska. We'll have to monitor that moving forward.
There's the power of Glosman. Grab that one in the perfect time. Tags Susanna Barr.
She grabbed it and turned it the right direction, pulled that ball back up the line. Not easily done, and a very compact stroke. That's one of the big elements for her as she moves on through the pickleball ranks.
Side out.
And some inconsistency that time into the net.
Yeah, just late clearing her body. She has a big two-hander, but she also has long levers. So she definitely needs to have that footwork on point to get her arms extended.
Side out.
Extension there, perfectly into the kitchen as she gets up to the kitchen line nicely and leans in as far as she can, taking the time away from her opponents.
Side out.
This one is close. It was close in the semis as well. Emily Ackerman and Susanna Barr only winning by 2. It was a 22-20 finish.
3-3. Point.
Eva Radzikowska just having a little bit of an issue, just getting into rhythm on that backhand side. She missed one in the transition zone and one through the return.
Glasman just puts her entire body behind that down the line.
I am impressed so far. I know the slice didn't come away with that one, but doing a nice job in terms of neutralizing some points through the transition zone. They got to look to turn those into some offense, though.
What an angle from Susanna Barr.
Yep, incredible inside-out ball from Susanna Barr. One of the better forehands up the middle and going inside out with it. And that is a testament to her wrist and her technique.
Good point construction that time for the Bay Area Breakers.
Yeah, you're spot on. I'm really impressed with the dinking and ball movement right now of the Bay Area Breakers because they are getting moved a good amount. You're not really starting to see too much in terms of patterns as the slice have been moving it around the kitchen. Better job by Eva Radzikowska in the transition zone, getting herself through, hitting 3 balls on that backhand side.
Eva Radzikowska, nice 2-shot combination. She had 2 errors, one with a return and one with a cross-court roll attempt earlier on the backhand side, and I never worried for 1 second. It is definitely her best shot, and you can see why right there.
Point.
Susanna Barr asking herself why.
One of my biggest questions is where can Chicago find some offense against this team of Radzikowska and Glasman? And on the outstretch might be the answer, right? Maybe it's on that forehand side. Glasman, if you get it up high, she's going to be quick to put it away, but maybe you can find something on that right foot.
Side out. Point.
Eva Radzikowska remains patient. So impressive how new she is to the sport and her level of play.
Oh, absolutely true. Very consistent player early on.
Just back for Susanna Barr, tough miss.
Yeah, tough break. She got what she wanted there, but a lot of tennis players coming over are more comfortable letting the ball bounce. I am impressed with Glasman's being so comfortable taking these dinks out of the air and putting very nice touch on them from the forehand and the backhand side.
What a grab that time from Barr. Elaborating on your point, why would that that be more of an advantage for players that are new to the sport to take it out of the air instead of letting it bounce?
Well, you see how much they're moving the dinks around, how many angles they're creating, meaning the slice. So if you can take that out of the air, you cut off their angles and you don't let that ball hit the court and skid and get out of your strike zone.
But that was one of the areas right there, just low enough, maybe on that hip side as they have been working that middle dink to the backhand side of Glosman. And she's found some offense, that quick little two-hander.
Yeah, and I know she missed that last forehand, but I'm okay with it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and I think that early on, point of emphasis for Susanna Barr to not grind cross-court with Eva. So Glosman, when Susanna Barr does misdirect, she has to look to be aggressive with some of those shots.
Coming to life.
Did you just see the left-handed overhead from Susanna Barr in the middle of that? She just went full paddle switch.
The old switcheroo.
10-10.
There's that volleyball background coming in handy. Big reach and athleticism from Barr, answered by the former tennis player, Glosman. First team to 11, the Bay Area Breakers, which means we will take a break on the end change. We have a thriller here on Championship Court for the season finale. For the season finale, here is the win probability for you according to Team Duper. Susanna Barr and Emily Ackerman with a slight edge on Eva Radzikowska and the lesser-known entity Vivian Glosman, at least lesser known for now. I have a feeling that won't last very long on their side. What do you think about win probabilities and what you're seeing so far?
Yeah, no, I think it makes a lot of sense given the inexperience of Glosman. And to touch on what Cameron said earlier about finding some offense from the slice, a couple options could be to find the right shoulder and right hip of Eva Radzikowska, who loves to sit heavy on the backhand. And often when tennis players transition to pickleball, they cover space on the outside of their body very well, but not the body blow. So possibly attacking Vivian Glosman into the body could be an option for the slice. We'll see.
Into the net gives Bay Area a 2-point edge in this one.
12-10.
A crucial match for the slice to win. takeaway from Emily Ackerman. She has been clutch late in games, especially.
Yeah, no, Emily Ackerman, as much as the put away is so beautiful, it's a setup shot right there from the roll of Susanna Barr.
A double bounce called. Barr almost got to it. Yeah. Ackerman pushing her along.
Throughout the left kick there.
13-11.
That's super final. You got to pull it all out.
Man, it's got to be hard right now, kind of underestimating the length of Glasman. You've talked about it, her taking the ball out of the air, but she's able to lean so far into the kitchen. She's doing a nice job redirecting that too and using the spin coming her way.
Susanna Barr on an absolute tear.
Yeah, very nice hands from the slice. And I think that a big factor so far has been the barrier breakers have been much more on the kitchen line and often the slice are in the back of the court or the midcourt. And it definitely varies, obviously, point to point, but in general, that has been the case on this match and really a big difference so far in my eyes.
13-14.
Susanna Barr lets it rip right at Eva Rezakowska, and the slice are right back in.
Before that point, all I wanted to say is we have yet to see a lob, and of course, it times out beautifully.
Vivian lobbed Emily, and Susanna got it. Nice job as a left side player with that big forehand in the middle.
Wide for Rezakowska, and Chicago takes one of their first leads of the game.
14.
Big swing from Vivian Glasman.
Yeah, it's that easy power. It's a smooth stroke. It doesn't look like she's really, getting too much into it, but it really comes off the paddle. And as you can see, someone with his hands as good as Emily Ackerman getting tagged by that ball.
That's a tough one for Susanna Barr on the overhead. You want to find depth because it's so easy to bring a ball back from an overhead position as the opponent.
16-15.
But you got to make sure you still keep that within the court.
And another run for the Bay Area Breakers. They're up by 2. Timeout called on the court. The momentum that this series has flipped back and forth has been just as fun as it was in the semifinal round in the San Clemente portion of the tournament. We'll be back with the rest of this women's doubles match. I don't know. You would not be able to lob him. Maybe he'd be a good partner for you, Adam.
Oh, shots fired. Shots fired.
Sorry, I'm just kidding. Just referencing the joke you always give us. I'm so sorry.
No worries. I have thick skin.
Down the middle for Emily Ackerman. She's been awfully quiet to this point.
No, that's a great shot from Emily Ackerman. Because she had the ATP potentially available, that pulls out Eva Radzikowska, creating a space and gap through the middle. But I'm looking for Emily Ackerman to get a little bit more aggressive from that third shot on. Right now, they've been going at bar. That last one in terms of the return went to Ackerman. But how can she start to pressure just based off of her court positioning when she's not seeing the ball? I think that could be an impact here.
Tough miss for Susanna Barr. That's exactly what she wanted. She couldn't finish it.
19-16.
And another miss. Game point for the Breakers. This will be a turn of events as the Slice won this game in their semifinal match win earlier this weekend. Not going to end quite yet, and the Bay Area Breakers have reached the freeze. If you're new to Major League Pickleball, that means they can only win this game on their serve. Rally scoring continues for Chicago until they reach 18. Susanna Barr making up for a couple of misses just a moment ago.
Yeah, and I'm liking the way she's protecting. They have to be wary of that two-hand backhand of Glosman again, creating an outstretch with the two-hand.
That's an incredible drop.
The hop worked that time, and whether the hop worked or not, she was in the right position, exactly like Cam was talking about. Susanna Barr, that very linear drop can really push her opponents back and force them into a decision whether to bounce that ball or take it out of the air, and then you can really pick things up at the kitchen. So nice job by Ackerman, pressuring and trusting her partner Susanna Barr to hit a quality third.
You're watching the Challenger Super Final. This is a promotion and relegation system, and while we have a moment to dive into it, why not talk about the standings, the season standings, and what this all means. Each team, the winner of this Challenger Super Final, will get an additional 2 event points, which is valuable for many reasons. The Bay Area Breakers currently lead the entire league, Premier and Challenger level, with the amount of total event points they have currently, with 44 as it stands, including the event 3 points. We'll dive into the minutia of that a little bit later, but the top 12 finishing teams will land in the Premier level come 2024. This is a big deal as the ownership groups will flop. Challenger level groups will go up to Premier as of next month. Game point saved on the side of Chicago, and it's not enough to tie it up.
That was pretty fortunate there for Glosman. I'll just go ahead and say it as Susanna Barr. Very nice attack, and Glosman mishitting that ball, dropping it right inside the baseline. Tough break.
Big finish for Vivian Glosman, making up for a women's doubles loss in the semifinals, and she gets it done here. Bay Area takes a 1-game lead on the Chicago Slice in this super final.
So impressive to see Vivian Glosman. I said she was the key to this women's doubles matchup, and she pulled it out beautifully. That two-hand backhand is something you have to pay attention to, earning that last and final point.
What a finish for Bay Area. They are the team to beat. We will move on to men's doubles and have an interview with the winners right after this short break. 1-0 on the Chicago Slice in this super final match as we check in now with Cameron Blackwood courtside with the winners.
Thanks, Michelle. Eva, didn't go your way in the semifinals against them. I'm curious, did you guys watch any tape, and then what adjustments did you make to make sure you took this first win?
I think we all rewatched it and took notes, and I couldn't sleep last night. I was already playing the match in my head. You know, we had a little bit of time to reset, make adjustments, and I'm so happy we ended up pulling off the win today.
Your first time here, Vivian, at MLP, you find yourself in the season super finals. How did you mentally prepare for a moment like this?
Yeah, I'm just lucky to be here, lucky to be on the best team. My teammates have been so supportive, our team as a whole, our GMs and Jeff, Stacy, I'm not going to name everyone, but they've been so nice. It's just been a ride, so I'm just glad to be here.
Thanks, Vivian. Michelle, back to you.
Cameron, thanks. Now we move on to the men's doubles portion of this super final match. It's the unbeaten Christian Alshon and Pablo Tellez. They have not been beaten this entire tournament as a duo together. Connor Garnett and Ryler DeHart for the Chicago Slice looking to change that trend. What are you looking for in this one, Cameron?
Well, I have to steal Adam's line here. The pick to clink is Ryler DeHart, without a doubt.
Him or the bucket hat?
Oh, that's a very fair question, Michelle. But you know, I think one of the biggest things is you now see Pablo Tellez on screen. I mean, this is a dynamic duo, and Tellez and Christian Alshon. You're going to see great forehands through the middle, both wildly athletic, long bodies as well. They're great movers. And for Ryler DeHart, there's another lefty on the other side. So we've got double forehands on both sides. So it's going to maybe be about getting some offense on the outside of the court.
Looking at Christian Alshon, and he is 23 years old, one of the more recent pros on tour. What is it about his game that, other than the tweeners and the flash and all the other things we expect to see, what else makes him a special player?
Well, he said in an interview earlier in the week, he feels like himself and Pablo Tellez could stand on the sidelines and cover all parts of the court with their huge forehands. So the forehand of Pablo Tellez, the forehand of Christian Alshon are going to be huge in this match. Can they play big with those two strokes?
Ryler DeHart, our first server. He is a national champion from the University of Illinois in tennis. His partner, Connor Garnett, also a former tennis player.
Side out, point one.
That was strange.
Yeah, just a slightly reasonable tennis background for Ryler DeHart. He played Rafa Nadal at the U.S. Open. Yeah.
Side out.
Into the net for Alshon.
One of the things I'm going to be very curious to watch is on the side of the Slice. They like to utilize the shake and bake off the drive of DeHart and Connor going in. But the big question is how do the Bay Area breakers handle that? And not to mention, do they go to it as much with Tellez and Alshon with some pretty steady hands?
Well, I will say this, Cameron. Quality singles players usually have quality first volleys and handle drives really well, so that will be a dynamic throughout this match.
There is handcuffs. Pablo Tellez putting some pressure on DeHart.
I love that shot from Pablo Tellez because it was very deceptive. Even just watching it, you thought he was going to pull that ball up the line.
Into the net for Alshon. A couple of early misses for him.
Yeah, and I would say on that ball right there, when you're dealing with someone with the foot speed of Connor Garnett, you have to be careful going for too much because you're just not going to get the reward for your risk, as Connor Garnett is going to take a couple steps to his left and neutralize that ball. So be careful how aggressive you're being. Got to have the reward for the risk.
Side out.
And that's That's the trouble with a drive. You got to make sure that ball stays low to the net. If that gets anywhere, shoulder height or even above hip, you're going to get into some trouble.
Side out, point 4.
A really nice pop with the one-hander right from the chest from Pablo Tellez. Very quality counter.
Point.
You want to try and neutralize the shake and bake. A deep return is important. You can see Ryler DeHart just missing long there. That's pivotal.
Just back for Garnett.
Yeah, and Christian Alshon, be careful doing that at home, guys. He has a phenomenal forehand. He's able to drive from the midcourt and catch Ryler DeHart on the left hip.
Christian Alshon, big in the middle, strategic with his dinks.
Yeah, so good. Sorry, Cam. Yeah, so to break back to the middle, he talked about bait with space. They make them try to hit the ball into the middle of the court, and they know that gap is going to close very quickly.
I was just about to talk about the styles at which you're seeing. Even though you have two forehands on both sides, you're seeing different styles take shape. Christian Alshon really looking for the inside out on that backhand side, utilizing the forehand. Whereas Ryler DeHart, he's going to be a little bit steadier. He's not going to work around that backhand side as often. He's cutting that ball back right now, trying to maintain his court position.
Pablo Tellez on the Ernie.
Yeah, really nice athletic play from Tellez. And I would agree with you, Cam. DeHart and Garnett are a little more balanced in their forehand, backhand, and Alshon and Tellez more forehand dominant heavy.
That's a big lefty forehand from Ryler DeHart, a former tennis pro, as he mentioned, Adam.
Yeah, that's just a good location to the opposing lefty. That left side hip is tough to cover.
Side out, point 10.
And then he misses that one.
Yeah, and Christian Alshon, the time he's pulled triggers too. That's been a nice job of going to the left side of Ryler DeHart. Different patterns for a righty and a lefty.
Wow, Christian Alshon. Wow. What can he say about that point?
He was in a spin cycle?
How did he get this ball up?
Unbelievable.
And then that one.
Yes.
Once and twice. And
he was coming in hot, Michelle, and he was able to use that offensive momentum to stop himself and recover.
My thoughts exactly. Wow, we'll be back after this short break. Don't go anywhere. Breakers up a game, and up in this men's doubles game, Christian Elshon and Pablo Tellez, they have a 55% win probability on Connor Garnett and Ryler DeHart. So far, they're playing like it too.
Yes, and I think right now, gotta find a way to get these breakers a little uncomfortable.
11-7.
Come with a little offense, try to pick a couple spots. Don't just play a passive defensive game for the slice.
That's an angle from Ryler DeHart.
Yeah, and to your point right there, I love it. Ryler DeHart taking an extra side shuffle step, utilizing that forehand instead of Connor Garnett, creating angles.
Wow, Connor Garnett with a big finish down the middle. That two-hander backhand is lethal.
He has an amazing two-handed backhand speed up off of the bounce, but he hasn't had a ton of opportunities so far this match, with Ryler DeHart being slightly more targeted by the breakers.
There it is again, the two-handed backhand. This man has been developing his game. That's a big part of it.
That is a massive part of it, and more importantly, look at how far he had to go to cover that. That is the singles prowess on full display.
Connor Garnett got a silver medal here in San Clemente on the PPA Tour last weekend. Lost to Tyson McGuffin in the gold medal match. He loves that backhand on the fly.
Yeah, and one of the guys he had to take down in that run was actually on the opposing side right now, Pablo Tellez.
We have a challenge on the court. The out call is being challenged at the moment.
The Ernie attempt from Pablo Tellez. He did react. He right when he hit it, or when the ball hit baseline or just behind it, he did react thinking that ball was in. But the slice, very emphatic with their out call, so we'll just have to see. And the slice picking up the aggression nicely to start the second half of this men's doubles match.
Well, this looks quite clearly out, right? No?
I don't know.
You know?
She put into the ether.
I did. Wait, sorry. I thought I saw it bounce beyond. All right, I take that back. I take it back.
Mulligan, you get a mulligan. That's fair.
I thought I saw it on the bounce, and then I realized it was on its way up already. I saw the shadow. So, never mind. Staying out of this conversation. Yeah, Adam, as you were.
Carry on.
It's really tough to tell from some of the angles on the replay, too, that we get, because they're going to be a little bit more deceiving in terms of whether you're looking from a high point and away.
I say
Verdict.
it's in. I say it. Oh.
Verdict is, let's listen in.
After video review, the ball was out.
Much better.
Would you look at that? I wasn't so wrong after all.
Hey, you were looking at the shadow.
You're right. You're absolutely right. I was. I just didn't know I was looking at the shadow.
11-11 with Chicago Slice serving. 15 seconds.
So, tie game. That is big. Chicago seems like a must-win situation. Best of 4. You need one of your gender doubles to win one in order to have a chance.
Well, and as a reminder, too, Chicago Slice, in the previous matchup, this was the only game that they lost in the 4 that they played. So this would be a massive momentum shift for them.
The run this weekend for the Chicago Slice, by the way, put them in 3rd place in the league standings across Premier and Challenger level. So when their ownership group flips up to Premier, they're sitting pretty. Looking at that draft coming up in July. Oh, the hands of Elshon tested by Ryler DeHart.
Amazing job. I mean, this is a completely different team coming out of the end change. They are really bringing some firepower and some offense, and you can see, maybe not on their heels by the breakers, but not on their toes anymore.
I think that ball might have been flying out of bounds. Elshon for style points.
I mean, it doesn't matter. Right now, it's the head-to-head battle. battle between Christian Alshon and Ryler DeHart. Forehand to forehand, up a line, and right now it is just a little game of skinny singles over there.
Just long for Garnett. What'd you see?
It's a tough break. Ball, first the awkward one off of Alshon's pattern that somehow came in. The slice got back forward, and Connor Garnett with a nice two-shot combination, but neutralized by Tellez, forcing him to hit up on that last ball and an awkward swing.
That's a textbook, Ernie, if I've ever seen one, from Pablo Tellez, former tennis player out of Bogota, Colombia.
How little have we said Tellez's name? He's kind of been isolated in a different way.
Side out. Point.
Yes, a very nice point from all four players on court, but I like that Ryler DeHart, first half of this match, he was almost exclusively blocking the attacks of Alshon. Now he is mixing up his blocks and his counters, and they're in a much better spot because of it.
To go off of that, the reason he's able to do that, he's starting to shift more towards that sideline to open up the forehand to better be able to counter.
Yes, he prefers the forehand counter in the backhand block, so adjusting his court positioning can allow him to get more forehands and release on some of those counter attacks to keep Alshon off balance.
Just wide for Alshon. 1 point game continues.
15-16.
That is just a big time play right there from Ryler DeHart. I called him the X Factor, and right now he is stepping up to the plate. Question is, can he hit the home run?
16-16. Side out. Point. 17.
Very quality technique from Christian Alshon on those higher balls that aren't full on overheads, but still he can stroke that forehand with topspin and create a lot from that position. Nice job by Christian.
Into the net, though that time, that's a tough one for Christian Alshon to miss.
But you can see just how dynamic of an athlete he is, moving from the sideline well beyond the center line and back to his side.
Side out. Point. 18. 18-17.
Wow, Pablo Tellez has ridiculous hands.
Yes, absolutely. And I do not dislike the decisions from Connor Garnett. You just have to tip your cap to Pablo Tellez, handling those attacks almost with ease at this point.
Side out. Point.
And I like the way Connor goes line to line right here instead. Opening up that left hip and then finishing
19.
just that much further out in front.
Point.
Uh-oh.
That's a tough one to miss. Tie game.
Yep, tight moment there for Tellez.
19.
Don't see that too frequently.
And a flying Connor Garnett. You could barely see that ball cross the net. It was so fast.
I talked to him about when he knows to go for the poach, and that was the perfect moment, recognizing the ball off of his partner's pass battle. A beautiful read from Connor Garnett.
Full send.
Full send.
Yeah, sometimes you squeeze the middle and hope to pick something off. Sometimes you just make a really good read and go for it. That's what we saw there from Connor Garnett. Great athleticism, explosion, and those flying ground strokes from shoulder level are incredible from Connor Garnett. I love to watch him play.
Chicago Slice with game point on their side and a chance to even out the series here to 1 game apiece. This would be a massive win for Chicago.
It's always so interesting to watch what they do at this point, right? You have Ryler DeHart waiting on the court.
1 timeout remaining.
Connor Garnett ready to go.
No timeouts remaining.
Go big, Slice. Shake and bake. Quick speed up if you do make it to the kitchen. Let's see.
Connor Garnett whips that point home, and here come the Chicago Slice, tied up 1 game apiece.
You said go big or go home, and they executed that perfectly.
A 21-19 finish. How about this game point? Relive it from this vantage point. You love to see it. Connor Garnett was not going to be denied. That is a big win for Chicago. Cameron Blackwood will join us after this short break to chat things over with the winners. Connor Garnett looking for a season championship on his side. We're getting set for our first mixed doubles matchup here in this Challenger Super Final because the Chicago Slice men's just took care of business as we throw it down to Cameron Blackwood standing by with Connor and Ryler.
Thanks, Michelle. Looked like the breaker's going to take that there, but on the end change, it looks like you and Ryler came out a completely different team. What was said?
Yeah, I think him and I just kind of got down, made it physical, just got really gritty, and just went out there and left it all on the court and had a great outcome.
2019, breakers take a timeout. I see Coach Ray J. Murphy come over and talk to you guys. What was he saying?
He just said keep doing what we were doing, 1 more point, finish strong, and I just had to make the serve and get the drive down, and Connor crashed and we made it. It was great.
Tying it up. Michelle, back to you.
Cameron, thanks. So the mixed doubles pairings will be revealed here shortly. Remember, we'll revisit the coin toss as we promised we would explain it. So here we are. The breakers, they won the toss. They chose to react, which means it holds significance here in mixed doubles. The Chicago Slice will place their mixed doubles partnership out first, to which the Bay Area Breakers can react and choose the matchup that they want. This is a big advantage for our new viewers. Why, Adam?
Yes, so I believe here we have the #1 team for Chicago Slice put out, the #2 team for the Breakers put out after they realize who the Slice put out. So I think the Breakers are possibly playing for a dream breaker and being instead of going for the 3-1 win, they prefer their team in that dream breaker format, singles format. So yeah, that's how I see that strategy.
And the last time these two teams met was in that semifinal, and this is a reverse of the matchups from it. It was Radzikowska and Tellez. They lost to Barr and Garnett 15-21. The other matchup was Glosman and Alshon, who lost 20-22 to Ackerman and DeHart.
Yes, and that's a great point. Either one of those options could be part of the strategy or both, but to give Glosman and Alshon a crack at this team makes a lot of sense after they do have confidence after that victory against Pablo Tellez and Eva Radzikowska.
In what ways do you feel like this is maybe a better matchup for Alshon or Glosman, or is it? Because according to Duper, it's not. Connor Garnett and Susanna Barr still have the edge. Could this change for the Bay Area Breakers, change their fate in this matchup, or you're just thinking the next matchup will be more fortuitous for them?
I think it's going to be interesting just because Glosman, that 46%, a lot of that has to do with her inexperience on the pickleball court, but she has played wildly well in this matchup already. I wouldn't be shocked for her to still try and apply the pressure out of the air back to the side of Susanna Barr.
We're underway in this mixed doubles matchup. That was point #1 on the side of the Bay Area Breakers. So far, so good for Glosman. As you mentioned, Cameron, that one not so good for Alshon. Big backhand for Garnett.
And I love this play. This is what the freedom is if you have somebody like Susanna Barr on your side who has a drop. Connor Garnett is already situated well into the middle of the court by the time she drops the ball. This applies so much pressure.
Side out. Point 2.
He didn't do it that time.
Yeah, he didn't quite commit to that, but yes, I think you're right. I prefer Connor just not even picking his spots, just hang out in the middle.
Side out. Point 3.
Connor Garnett, again, that two-hand backhand, just an absolute weapon. Feels like half the time his feet aren't even on the ground when he's hitting it.
Well, it's because they're not.
I know.
Ooh, Susanna Barr forcing Alshon into the air there.
And just kind of spreading Alshon out.
4-2.
So when you have to focus on a little less court and more court in mix, sometimes that does slow your hand speed down just a little bit.
Wow, Barr and Garnett, they're looking pretty good. It looks like we might be going to a dream breaker here if the Bay Area can come back in this. Well, I guess it's way too early to say that, but I don't know. Susanna Barr looks to be unstoppable at this point in the game.
Well, and that's where Glosman has been so steady in that first matchup in the women's doubles. However, that one just about knee-high, getting a bit of a pop-up.
And it is a little more pressure from Glosman, knowing that Connor Garnett is hanging out in the middle. That's not going to happen very often in women's doubles. It will in mix. It's shrinking the court, making her target smaller.
Big put away for Susanna Barr, and this is the biggest lead Chicago has had in this entire match across all the doubles matchups.
And I will say, too, I talked to Connor Garnett before this final, and one of the things he said is that loss to Dallas Pickleball Club in the final of San Clemente, that one hurt. He's looking for a major response right now.
Side out. Point.
And that's a very reasonable shot from Christian Alshon. A point ago, he tried to pull the trigger from his side. That time, he attacks Connor Garnett from the middle of the court. Much better option for him, not only to catch him on his backhand side, but to keep him out of the middle and not allow him to put pressure on his partner.
Clean put away that time for Connor Garnett.
Yeah, they're trying to neutralize him just a bit. You saw the third shot drop go the direction of Connor Garnett to that backhand side, and then looking to Susanna Barr to attack.
Fast hands for Christian Alshon.
Yes, and he is basically hitting that ball and exploding back to his left, and good thing he did so, because not a poor shot from Susanna Barr, but he's right there with the one-handed counter.
What a find, a very narrow alley for Alshon to hit, and he got his target that time.
6-9.
Garnett was going to probably finish that ball that just catched off the tape.
What's really interesting to watch is the women in this matchup right now and how well they're moving alongside their partners. Filling the void when need be, right? And that shift, it's like a constant dance out there. You're stepping forward, stepping backwards, and to the side. It is a beautiful kind of pickleball.
Well, Susanna Barr and Connor Garnett, they are looking pretty sharp on their side. A 5-point lead, the first team to 11. They look to be running away with this mixed doubles game, and it is only just beginning here on Championship Court. On Championship Court, the Brasha sisters in the house supporting their favorite fellow pros here on the Major League Pickleball Tour. the net for Susanna Barr, and that was quite a run for Chicago.
Yeah, we all dropped our heads in the booth after amazing gets. It's the not like this. How do you miss the easy one? That's Pickle.
Feathery touch of Connor Garnett. That's just mean.
That guy doesn't need any acting classes. He just sold that. Good little hold, drop volley.
Down the middle finish for Garnett. He's been absolutely dominant.
You know, what's funny is you watch that and you think, oh, maybe the tweener's the actual highlight. Susanna Barr's get to send that ball back down the line was the real highlight.
And they continue. Nothing can stop the train of the Chicago slice, at least for now.
Slide out.
Listen to that.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a target there on Susanna Barr. She's not necessarily one to fully counter the ball back on the backhand side. She might kind of bunt that ball back or block it back.
Inside out for Susanna Barr with the tag.
I'll tell you what, when Susanna Barr is not playing an inconsistent game and she is on, she is very, very good, and that is exactly what we're seeing right now. And possibly Christian Alshon a little rattled from getting tagged, as he has not missed a return in either match and pushes that one well wide.
Slide out. Point.
It's an interesting decision there from Connor. I like it. I mean, he's looking for his own shake and bake, but...
Yeah, and definitely if you're going to drive at Christian Alshon, you drive at the backhand, not the forehand.
Another miss for Garnett into the net. That's an interesting shift.
Yeah, no, I think that's a part of the deal situation. Keep Connor in the middle. He was too extended on that, did not hit it cleanly, but that's okay.
Connor didn't expect that to come back to his forehand side. He started to shift towards that two-hand backhand.
And a full whiff in the middle of that point from Christian Alshon.
What a point of the game so far.
I mean, Connor Garnett is throwing fingers over to Susanna Barr, saying, that's my partner. That was such a well-played point by Susanna Barr. Every time she got caught on that backhand side, she got the ball blocked, but down at the feet of Glosman and Alshon.
Slide out. Point.
Robbed by the tape.
Yeah, decent step in from Connor Garnett. But, I mean, Susanna Barr just hitting amazing shots and not missing. What a combination from her, carrying the slice right now.
Slide out. Point.
Nice job by Connor Garnett. What you don't realize is as you start to add offense and that defense moves back in the transition zone, that's a moving target. So as you continue to take shots up at the kitchen line, you kind of have to pick and choose your spot. Have they slid to one direction or another? Takes great vision.
13-18.
shot choice selection?
I'm okay with it. She had them fooled. I know Christian Alshon, very athletic player, so you have to be careful. But I think she caught her opponents off guard, just couldn't keep it in. I'm all right with the decision from Susanna. And also important to note, that is the first lob of the game as well. So someone with the size and the athleticism of the breakers, if you go to the well too much on that shot, you're definitely going to be in trouble. But the fact that it was the first one, quality spot.
Connor Garnett just took some pace off that serve. We always talk about how service pressure has become a thing, but sometimes variance in your service pressure is just as important.
Game point for Chicago.
I like the play, though. Connor Garnett on that forehand side, just continuing to pepper, trying to get up there, chose the right time.
Oh, tough miss it off the tape. But you're exactly right. Connor Garnett floated a handful of drops. He hung out, stayed back. He finally got one down like he liked, and he beelined forward. Great read from him. I would definitely say the last 5 minutes or so, Christian Alshon is trying to force some situations, and it could be score dependent or opponent dependent, but he is definitely a little out of his comfort zone.
Second game point for Chicago. Missed on the paddle of Connor Garnett, looking for that miraculous drop. By the way, Christian Alshon delivered a verbal warning for kicking the ball a couple of points ago, according to Cameron Blackwood. Something to note. What an angle from Susanna Barr.
Gosh, I love when the ladies find offense. That is just an amazing combination at her own right. She sets up and she cleans up.
Bay Area, they're alive. They're now frozen on 18. Side out scoring on both sides, but this is now a much more dangerous score line than we saw a moment ago. Chicago up 6 before that. Oh no! Bay Area trails by 1. Chicago's in trouble.
You don't see that every day, guys. That was a very interesting situation with Connor Garnett losing his balance and having to avoid the kitchen. No chance for Susanna Barr to cover his back. Oh my, two returns and a serve in the second half of this game from Christian Alshon.
And a verbal warning.
And I didn't know about the verbal warning. That was a good little tidbit.
Oh, that was such a good drop from Connor Garnett, but it was countered. One better by Bay Area. Christian Alshon is seemingly unfazed at the kitchen. It's the return of the serve game that's catching up to him. Good there. Oh, wide open gap. How'd he miss?
It's not his favorite wing. His backhand on the counters and the speed ups are certainly not poor, but not a strength of his. And we have seen that a few times now.
Gets it right back. Saves another game point. Bay Area lingering down by 1.
19-20.
Oh, that was a crazy angle from Connor Garnett.
Yeah, and I like it. A little bit of keep away for Christian Alshon, right? Can I hit a sharp enough angle to keep it away from that forehand?
20-19.
Another game point for Chicago. They could close it here. And they will off a let cord from Connor Garnett. The Chicago slice taking a 2-1 edge on the two-time champs, the Bay Area Breakers.
If you think you have Connor Garnett beat and have a window to hit it into, you do not. I know he clipped the tape with that one, but that is as wide open as it can be. Connor Garnett closes that gap very quickly.
What a scoreline. Chicago looking to complete a Cinderella story. We'll check in with Cameron Blackwood after this short commercial break. Slice take a 2-1 lead on the two-time defending champs. Let's see how they did it as we check in now with Cameron Blackwood.
Thanks, Michelle. Breakers could choose and react which team to put out. Were you surprised by this decision because you guys played their other team previously?
No, I wasn't surprised at all. Actually, I'd heard they had wanted to do that the whole time, but we had always picked before, so I was kind of expecting it.
You guys were up 2015. It gets all the way back to 2019. What were those key shots you were looking to hit to make sure you took this first mixed doubles?
Yeah, I think they elevated their game really well, and we just needed to slow it down a little bit and try and find a few good points, and we got a lucky net cord, and it was just a battle out there, but we came through.
Thanks, Connor. Michelle.
So soft-spoken, that Connor Garnett, but he doesn't play like it on the court. He's monstrous out there, and he has been for this team.
He's, Michelle, he's my mother's favorite player.
Really?
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think that might be the case if I was still playing. So,
I was going to say the same thing. I'm like, what about you?
That's funny. Why is that, Adam?
Well, she just she likes his demeanor out there. He's a friendly guy. He's smiley. He's complimentary of his opponents. He plays a big game. You know, the whole package. There's a lot to like with the young kid.
I think you're missing one element, though.
What's that?
He is highly competitive, and it shows in his game. Like, he is a fighter. It's been really fun to watch his rise in the game of pickleball.
Take a look at the head-to-head with the numbers in this mixed doubles matchup. Pablo Tellez and his partner Eva Radzikowska squaring off against Emily Ackerman and Ryler DeHart. The advantage, according to Duper, goes in favor of Tellez and Radzikowska, and these numbers were predictive in the last mixed doubles matchup, so perhaps a similar storyline unfolding here. Question mark, Cameron?
Go ahead, Cameron.
Oh, I was just going to say, I think it's going to be really fun because this is a matchup where you have two guys that are both left-handed. So you're actually going to have the guys playing that right side role. The ladies will be on that left side. So just a little bit of a different dynamic than you're used to in mixed doubles.
Right, and we saw Emily Ackerman not have a lot of opportunities to be aggressive in that previous matchup in women's double. She's going to get the ball a lot here. How often is she going to play a solid, controlled game, and how often is she going to look to pull the trigger? I think that is a big factor in this particular match. Tough to do so. You got Pablo Tejas in front of you. Not the easiest situation. Well, she went for that first one, ladies, so...
I think Pablo Tejas has kind of sneaky hands.
Oh, there's no, he has a lot of sneakiness to him. There's no question. Some of his deception, and he hits a lot of like mid-pace and slower winners. Just a lot of deception and control of the paddle from Pablo Tejas. He's a great player and really been stepping it up these last couple months. I love to watch him.
Chicago responding after the early miss.
And I will say too, I know Emily Ackerman just missed that backhand slice, but in talking to her, that's actually where she feels very comfortable. She likes playing the left, and especially alongside Ryler. She talked about the ability to cut that ball, use it not just as a reset or taking it out of the air, but using it more as an offensive shot as well.
It's going to be a slice versus topspin battle on the cross-court dink exchanges from these two ladies.
Early attempt gone long for Pablo Tejas. One of his many sneak attacks.
2-3.
There's another way.
Sneaky. Oh.
3-3. Side out. Point 4. 4-3. Side out. Point 4.
It's going to be interesting to watch Ryler DeHart in this matchup. Just how active is he going to get with the lateral motion to kind of help alleviate some of the pressure on Emily Ackerman?
Yeah, that's a good call, and I think in the shake and bake and some of the quick points, that's a great option. But let's be clear, slice dinks carry a little further. That's an easier way for the man to get involved. Those topspin dinks of Eva Radzikowska are very difficult to poach off of.
That's a big response from Ryler DeHart.
Ryler DeHart has been playing some good pickleball today, so it's fun to watch him move around, showing that he's got the one-hand backhand slap as well.
Crumbling on her partner's miss.
Yeah, she'll wear those emotions on the sleeve, and you can hear she's very vocal out there, saying you, me, and all kinds of things. There was a go in there, so nice job.
I talked to her about that. She said, I love to emote. I love to be emotional on the court. She goes, as long as I just don't make anyone too angry on the opposition.
Ackerman, a lot of upside, 23 years old, former tennis player out of Cal Poly. She was the second-round draft pick for this Chicago Slice team. Wow, down the middle winner for Ryler DeHart.
Yeah, very nice from DeHart, but I want Ackerman to continue to drive the pickleball on thirds. If she gets in a really bad spot, she can mix in some drops, stay aggressive with the drives, use your partner. She has a great drive on both forehand and backhand.
It's a tough decision. It was almost as if it were necessary. It was reactionary in terms of the lob rather than offensive.
No, that's a good call. You never really want to bail out lob unless the situation is very dire. Look to be balanced and leaning forward with the offensive lob more often than not.
Serve back to Ryler DeHart. Talked about their tennis background, or his tennis background. He and his wife, Megan Fudge, both former tennis players turned pro pickleballers. That angle from Tellez is remarkable.
And that's exactly what Adam was talking about right there. You saw the two-hand backhand roll being cut down, taking time away, but it does carry. It has the backspin, so it's going to float a little bit more through the middle. You have to watch out for the Tellez forehand.
Here come the Bay Area Breakers, now only trailing by 2. DeHart and Ackerman trying to be the first team to 11.
She changed her mind. She didn't go with the cut. She went with a little bit of a two-hand roll or a push dink.
One of the cardinal sins of pickleball. Changing your mind never works out. Stick with option 1.
It's a good finish there for DeHart. Chicago, the first team to 11, and they take a 2-point lead. They could win the match and the season championship. After we come back, we'll see if they can close it out.
Tennis Channel's coverage of Major League Pickleball is brought to you in part by Margaritaville. Escape to your personal paradise. Stay, play, live, and dine in Margaritaville. By Aura Organic. Fuel your lifestyle with Aura, the cleanest, most powerful plant-based supplements. And by Toyota Prius. Toyota Prius. It's ace now.
Back on championship court in the beautiful Lifetime Athletic Country Club facilities for this super finals, the season finale of the Challenger Level League. That's a big put away for Pablo Tellez. All the pressure right now on the Bay Area Breakers. They have won 2 championships in the Challenger level, Mesa and Daytona. The Slice have not, but they're here because they have advanced into the knockout rounds several tournaments in a row. They almost took the finals in San Clemente, dropped that one to Dallas, and here we are.
And it looks like coming out of the turn, one of the biggest elements for the Bay Area Breakers, offense, and being rather aggressive in their shot selection for the third shot drive just there. Seen 3 shake and bakes from them since the turn already.
Definitely. Much like the Slice in the men's doubles match when they switched in, really took it up a notch.
It's just a heck of a ball right there from Radzikowska, rolling that ball at the off foot of Emily Ackerman.
Emily Ackerman all over that one.
Yeah, possibly changing of the spot for the Radzikowska backhand drive or third shot drive on either side. You see her and Pablo Tejas talking about it a little bit as Ackerman's first volley on the forehand side, very crisp at the last few points. I'll tell you one thing right now, ladies. Ryler DeHart grunts like a man wearing a bucket cap. That's for sure. he puts everything into those shots. You can hear him grunting on the microphone, and he wants it as bad as anybody. And unfortunately, his partner sails that return wide, and we are knotted up at 14.
The change of pace. So oftentimes you're thinking you have to add power, but sometimes taking that off creates a little indecision on the paddle. You have to create through the transition zone. It's uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Often when they give you nothing, you have to push through, as opposed to when they rip it, you can basically just stick your paddle down and let the pace of their shot do the work for you.
Big presence in the middle from Pablo Tejas. Bay Area Breakers, they recover now a 1-point lead. This is a huge shift in momentum.
15.
Oh, Ackerman throws in the lob, and it's denied.
And I was grimacing after the last point because I felt like Emily Ackerman let a few opportunities to speed up the line to the backhand of Pablo Tejas go. You saw it in that last rally. She went for it once. It didn't work in her favor. However, that might be a spot to look.
No, I think it was a great decision by her with that initial attack. The lob, yes. I'm not so sure. The lob, I'm not so sure, but you're right. Pablo's been leaking. He's leaking to the middle. He's one of the more aggressive guys on tour in terms of how much court he's taking. So you must occasionally take a spot, and I really like the spot Ackerman took, just neutralized by Pablo. And you know, you just because you make the right decision, it doesn't always work out. Keep looking for that spot. If you get it again, Emily, do your thing.
And it's hard when you are so comfortable working with that backhand slice. You're thinking cross court. It almost surprises you when an opportunity might present itself to be able to then put that other handle or hand on the handle to be able to create the two-hand backhand up the line.
So it's potentially looking to shape up to be a dream breaker. If the Bay Area Breakers can pull this one out, we will go to a 5th deciding game. Wow is right, sir. Fans have been incredible all weekend long. Radzikowska back to serve. Crucial side out for Chicago, down 1.
Yeah, nothing special from Ryler DeHart, but nice help. Nice step over to his left to take that ball.
Radzikowska just stole one away. She had to pop her feet up off the court just to be able to get her paddle there instead.
Yeah, and she stole one earlier in that point off a great slice dink out wide as well. Nice coverage outside the court and to the middle from Eva Radzikowska.
Big swing from Radzikowska. She's been clutch, and that's what you get from the two-time MLP MVP.
I was going to say, MVPs step up in big moments, and right now, Radzikowska is doing the exact same thing.
19-16.
Oh, my. just barely winning that point, Ryler DeHart. How about the resets from Radzikowska?
That's right.
Low to the net and in the kitchen.
A nice kick save from Pablo Tejas. wrong sport, but
kick save and a beauty.
Nice footwork.
Oh, Ryler DeHart heating up, down 1.
Oh, some explosion right there for Ryler DeHart. Massive lunge to open up that forehand and close.
18-19.
Oh, Ackerman just gets caught off the tape. That's an unfortunate bounce. Bay Area now with game point on their side to push a dream breaker.
$20-18.
Wow, Pablo Tejas finishes that one with some serious pace.
Emily Ackerman going back to the lob, and Pablo Tejas says, thank you very much.
Yes, and great adjustment on the end change from the Breakers, who I believe were at a 2-point deficit and really came out with different energy and different game plan to be more offensive, and it pays off. We're going to 5, ladies.
Right. Gear up for some singles. This is a fascinating nuance of Major League Pickleball. You can match up any player against any other player of your choosing based on the matchups. We'll dive into the nuances after this short break, but I promise you it's a format you don't want to miss. A 5th deciding game, which means we turn our attention to singles, but first we check in with the ever so clutch Eva Radzikowska and Pablo Tejas standing by with Cameron Blackwood.
Thanks Thanks, Michelle. Eva, a must-win for you guys. How confident were you in the team here with Pablo that you could take it into the Dream Breaker?
You know, it's funny. Every time I play with Pablo, I'm just getting a zone. You know, I don't even know what the score is. It's just 1 point at a time. I know where to place my ball, and I know he will take care of the rest. So it's just 1 point at a time.
Switching now from doubles to singles, what's the conversation you're going to have with your team here in this Dream Breaker?
To play our game. I think we each have our own singles strategy, and we're going to go for it.
Thanks, Pablo. Michelle.
Let's take a look at the rules of the Dream Breaker. If you're new with us, this is one of the most exciting parts of the format to watch. It is singles. So, as we talked about the toss, the Breakers won the toss. They chose to react in mixed doubles, which means the tables now turn. The Chicago Slice now get to be the team that reacts in singles. So every player on your team will go out for a rotation of 4 points. The Breakers have to set their lineup first. It's kind of like a batting order. You put your top single players at the top. You go down according to that, and then the Chicago Slice get to look at that list and say, this is the matchup we want against this person and that person and this person. So let's get the lineups live now, shall we? Take a look at what the strategy is on both sides. Caitlin Kerr will take it away. Let's recap what we just heard. Top of the order is Christian Alshon against Connor Garnett. That's going to be an interesting matchup. Then the Bay Area Breakers put out Pablo, to which the Slice countered with Ryler DeHart. Eva Radzikowska is the third batter of choice, so to speak, for the Bay Area Breakers. The Slice countered with Emily Ackerman. And then Vivian Glasman will round out the order, and she matches up against Susanna Barr. This is about as even as it gets. Sometimes you see the mismatches, the sacrificial lamb situations where you mix men versus women, but this is straight up all the way through. What do you think?
Absolutely right. This is the exact orders I expected, and the biggest matchup for me is the last matchup. Vivian Glasman versus Susanna Barr. Susanna played huge in mixed doubles, but she's a slight liability in singles with her age and her lack of big tennis background. This 4 points at a time, anything can happen. Let's go.
And this is going to be a massive test for the Chicago Slice because the Bay Area Breakers are undefeated on the season. They're 5-0 in Dream Breakers.
Connor Garnett, he's been training singles. Let's see how it pays off here. So far, so good. He takes 2 of the 4.
And I talked to Connor Garnett about if this were to go to a Dream Breaker, how many points does each person feel like not more against Alshon?
Wow, 3 of 4 so far for Connor Garnett.
I can't describe to you how difficult it is to get the ball past Christian Alshon when he's at the kitchen line, but Connor Garnett up to the task early.
Wow, that's a nasty forehand from Christian Alshon.
Yeah, but that's still a win in terms of Chicago. Picking up 3-1 in that matchup is something that Connor felt like was an accomplishment.
Now we move on to the next rotation. Tellez against Ryler DeHart. Pablo Tellez gets the first of 4 points.
Southpaw battle.
And a big response from Ryler DeHart.
I think it's going to be important for Ryler DeHart to try and pick off 1 or 2 against Pablo Tellez in this matchup.
4-2. Side out. Point.
Big window up the line for Ryler DeHart. looking for that pass on the backhand side. Not his preferred wing, and unfortunately for him, he puts it into the net.
And a big 3-point response for Pablo Tejas. He gets 3 of 4. This is the rotation of Eva Radzikowska and Emily Ackerman, 2 prolific tennis players in their backgrounds. First point goes to Emily Ackerman.
And I would expect Emily Ackerman, like she did in the first point, to avoid the two-handed backhand of Eva Radzikowska. All those balls played to the forehand of Eva.
The hat's an angle from Eva Radzikowska, the 2-time MVP.
So tough as you're backing off the kitchen line. You lose vision as you look up to the ball. Great angle for Radzikowska.
Reversing the flow, Emily Ackerman.
Great ball from Emily Ackerman with a quality approach shot and then perfect placement back behind Eva Radzikowska, breaking to her backhand side.
Wow, that is the backhand you pointed out, Adam.
Yeah, it's about 1 inch inside the baseline with pace and spin. A lot for anyone to handle. Great shot from Eva Radzikowska.
We move on to Vivian Glasman and Susanna Barr. A big swing down the line for Barr. She finds just barely an inch of the line, maybe a millimeter.
7-6.
Back for Vivian Glasman. This is a rotation you were watching, Adam.
8-6.
Good effort, just long. Glasman gets one more point to go.
One of the hard parts about this rotation is the fact that there's so many unknowns. You don't have a scouting report in singles for either of these two.
Clean winner down the line. There's the tennis background shining through for Glasman.
There it is. Very nice two-hander. And you're exactly right. Nobody knows. Great tennis background. How will that translate? Not sure. Susanna Barr's been around the block quite a while, and she does a great job of splitting that 2-2.
Back to the top of the order. Oh, Elshon hangs in. You thought Garnett was going to take that one.
Yeah, just a little bit of a hands battle there. I think just enough of a missed contact. Connor tried to pull that ball back cross court, but just how athletic Elshon is.
Missed return, that's costly. Bay Area up by 2. Ackerman is questioning something.
Connor didn't call it.
No. Something fell up above there's a merchandise booth above the court, and something fell and it made a massive noise right on contact of the return for Connor. And Connor right now is just going to his teammates like, hey, I'm in the zone. I know it happened. We got to move on.
Yeah, that's a good eye, Cameron. I thought that possibly the serve was out and Connor didn't call it, and his teammates were helping him out with that decision, but that makes a lot more sense.
Bay Area on top, 11-8. We will change ends and get to the results of this super final championship. fans, they're on their feet cheering for their team. What an ownership group, by the way. Heidi Klum, Tom Ricketts, Chris Everett, Lindsay Davenport, Tracy Austin, several others cheering on the Slice. They're down by 3. Elshon and Garnett, one more point to play. And a missed serve. Connor Garnett will take the break, especially with what happened before the break, as Cameron was explaining.
Well, I mean, you said it. That's really been the only hole in his game so far in this match, is the serve and return game.
Oh, clean winner for Ryler DeHart.
Inside in. Very nice deception, holding that front shoulder, whipping through. Perfectly struck from Ryler DeHart.
And a hands battle, one against Pablo Tellez.
I think this is where it just gets so fun in the Dream Breaker, right? As much as you might put these athletes on the singles competition for an extended rally or an extended game, all of a sudden you put them just 4 points, anything is possible.
Ryler DeHart could tie it back up here. One more point to play between these two. Oh, and the singles specialist, Pablo Tellez, wasn't going to let the moment pass him by. Next out, Eva Redzikowska on the far side. Emily Ackerman on the screen right there.
Yeah, miss hit. I actually am not even sure she was going up the line there. Late contact from her, and she paid the price sailing it long.
Well, for the Breakers, if there's anyone you want out there at this moment, it's your two-time MVP, Eva Radzikowska, the national champion out of Poland.
And you can see that knee brace, a full tournament day, more of an issue for her, 4 points at a time. She's a player. And Emily Ackerman says, couple loose airs on the first two. How about that with a cross-court passing shot? See if she can go 2-2 right here.
15.
Yeah, that ball's long.
Okay, so Emily Ackerman with a slightly late call with an out ball and an immediate challenge from Eva Radzikowska.
Are you maintaining your
We'll see on the replay what...
The ball was in. Thank you.
Oh, overturned by our MLP ref.
I don't think so. Maybe it was someone on the sidelines that told Emily it was in from her team. I'm not positive. But yeah, that is... Okay, now we have the referee going over to chat. Okay, he's coming back.
All right.
Sorry, I thought something was going on. Obviously, nothing's going on. That's my bad.
just situating the score, I
yes.
think.
Yes.
Just for moral support on the sideline. All is well. And Susanna Barr looking to be the hero for her team. It is
13-16.
Oh, down the tape and into the corner.
I think Susanna Bard heard me talking about her and said that she might have a bit of an issue as the weaker player on the Slice. She's stepping up big so far.
Wow, the Slice now trail by 1. Yeah, Adam, eat those words, says Susanna Barr.
Yeah, I'm happy to do so.
Would be crucial.
Keep going, Susanna.
3 down, 1 more to go. Oh, not gonna happen that
she
time.
says nope.
Big swing.
I will say Susanna Barr with a solid rotation from a service standpoint. Really tough deep serves created some issues for Glossman.
Connor Garnett in a must-win situation. He has to gain some ground here for his team. Well, hey, you know what? He got a bad bounce the last rotation. I think he deserves this one.
Hey, it all evens out in the long run, right? Doesn't feel that way
Still
sometimes.
debatable.
Yeah.
I think it does. Okay, Connor Garnett, he gets 2. Tie game in the Dream Breaker. Things just got interesting. Into the net for Elshon, and the Chicago Slice take their first lead of the Dream Breaker. How did this just happen?
What a forehand from Connor Garnett up the line. That was pinpoint accurate.
Can he get 4? Yes, Next, Pablo Tellez, Ryler DeHart. Down the line for DeHart. Game, match, championship point for the Chicago Slice.
20-17.
The Cinderella story complete for the Chicago Slice. Your season 1 champions. What just happened?
I don't know.
They were undefeated in Dream Breakers through the season, and the Chicago Slice just handed them their very first Dream Breaker loss in the season finale.
The comeback of Major League Pickleball, the best we've seen so far. That was remarkable. Let's have another look at the winning moment. Take it in, Chicago.
Where was Ryler going? Was he going to tap paddles?
He didn't really know how to react here. It took him a minute.
He couldn't see with the bucket hat. He was blinded.
That's right.
How about that? A miraculous ending for the Chicago Slice just when you thought Bay Area was going to run away with it. And another 2 event points to the Chicago Slice, who currently rank 3 in the league standings across all 24 teams. That could be huge when it comes to the 2024 promotion and relegation system landing for all the premier level teams. We will be back with a post-championship ceremony. Don't go away. We have to know from the winners what happened.
Tennis Channel's coverage of Major League Pickleball is brought to you in part by Knockaround Sunglasses, quality shades that won't break the bank, and by Michelob Ultra. It's only worth it if you enjoy it.
The Chicago Slice are your 2023 Season 1 MLP champions. They overcame what seemed like an impossible deficit to the defending two-time champs and the team that was unbeaten in Dream Breakers to this point in the season, the Bay Area Breakers. Wow, what a match, and congratulations to the Chicago Slice as we welcome in the fourth member of our crew, Cameron Blackwood, for the post-championship celebration.
Thank you so much, Michelle. Everyone, let's give it up one more time for the Bay Area Breakers. What an incredible tournament they've had with 2 championships. But right now, we want to give it up for our Season 1 season finale winners, the Chicago Slice. Connor Garnett, Emily Ackerman, Susanna Barr, and Ryler DeHart. Connor, you were the only team, Chicago Slice, to give them their only 2 losses all season long. How good does this one feel?
Yeah, I mean, we knew they were going to come back hungry after we got them in the last one, and that's what they did. And we came down to a very gritty dream breaker, and everyone came up clutch on our team, and it was a great team win.
And how important is it to also have singles players on your team, even though you may not play singles all the time, but how important is it to have these players on a team?
Yeah, I think just having the confidence to know that if we get into a dream breaker, we're all going to play hard. We are solid and trust our shots, and hopefully they land in.
Captain Susanna Barr, what was the conversation you had with your team before stepping out and winning today?
Yeah, I mean, we just picked some words. We were still gritty. We also chose physical today, and that's what we talked about, that we were going to come out and just give it our all.
How much do you love the Chicago Slice team, the ownerships, the coaches?
I love pizza. It's great. They're awesome. This is the most fun team I've ever been on. Amazing.
Thank you so much. Let's go ahead and get this trophy. I have Commissioner of MLP, Brooks Wiley. Give it up for him, guys. Come on. They just won.
Wow, what a finishing touch for the season finale of the Challenger League. The Chicago Slice, they just snuck right in and stole the title. Your finishing thoughts on this one, Adam?
I just think it's very impressive for the Slice to beat this quality of a team twice in 2 days. You just have to give all the credit to them to play big singles when on paper they're the slight underdogs. And my bad once again, Susanna Barr, you played great out there. And Connor Garnett to get 4 points on Christian Alshon, absolutely huge. I am golf clapping in the truck for the Slice. Well done.
Yeah, and I'm going to bounce off of that. I feel like Connor Garnett through the beginning, middle, and end stages of this matchup was just on fire. I also want to give a massive shout out. Ryler DeHart stepped up in some big time moments. For him and Connor to get that men's doubles matchup was absolutely astronomical. Not to mention the final 2 points for the Chicago Slice. Big time play from Ryler DeHart.
Well, guys, we're only beginning with our super final coverage because guess what? We still have one more season finale coming your way. That is the Premier Level League Super Final taking place tonight on ESPN2. You can catch us there at 9 p.m. Eastern. It's the Seattle Pioneers and Ben Johns squaring off against Drew Brees' team, the LA Mad Drops, and Irina Tereshchenko. She's got 4 MLP titles to her name. She's looking to add a season championship. We will have that coming your way later tonight. Now, the Breakers were the team to beat coming into this one. The Chicago Slice completed their Cinderella story in dramatic fashion. For Cameron Blackwood, Adam Stone, Cameron Irwin, and our entire Tennis Channel crew, I'm Michelle McMahon saying so long. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and don't forget to join us on ESPN2 at 9 p.m. Eastern. You thought this was good. This one is going to be even better.